Hey guys, today I want to show you my PC Engine GT. So I bought this device off eBay. It was broken, so it didn't work at all. I had to do some capacitor replacements and some minor fixes on the circuit board, which I will show you later on. And today my main objective would be to replace the audio socket, which is corroded on many devices, actually on most of them. This LCD is working still, but yeah, I was thinking about replacing it. Should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm not sure if you can see it. It's really, yeah, I mean, for the time it was okay. It was better than the Game Gear screen, but yeah, you can barely make out the text here, and if you're playing a game, I mean, it's okay to play, but it's not really yeah, for shoot 'em ups you won't get any high scores with this screen. And also a quick side note, I'm not sure if you can see it, it draws around 0.54 amps with this screen, and later on we will compare it with the new screen if we can also save some battery life on this device. So yeah, I would say let's start disassembling the unit, and then we will have a look and continue with the replacement of the audio socket and later on with the LCD mod. So what you can see here is a mod I did to this device as well, because the speaker is, yeah, it's not really loud, so I replaced the speaker, still had the same issue, and then I decided to put in an amplifier board, which then turned out to be really a great addition to this handheld. Now it's really loud, and hopefully with replacing the audio socket I can even get a little bit more volume or even better sound quality, so that would be the goal of this mod. So let's just get off the shielding here a bit. Okay. So mostly on these devices the electrolytic capacitors will fail, which is, yeah, very common on maybe all older devices. After a certain amount of time they will leak, and yeah, you will have either shorts to ground or the wrong capacitance and so on, and then the device will act up. So if you get one of these and you have issues, the first thing I would recommend you is to replace all of the electrolytic capacitors, and if this still does not fix your issue, then yeah, I would probably check the 24 volt, so the minus 24 volt line that drives the LCD, or the 5 volt line if you have some regulator issues, or check for bad traces and so on. So see. Also a very common issue on this device is that you have cold solder joints on these connections here, so you cannot read the cartridge properly, or also cold solder joints here on this side of the PCB. So what you can see here is the side with the most electrolytic capacitors that you will have to replace if you really want to get it working again. So I'm not sure if I connected one side of this or not. No, it seems to be coming out. Now let's just make sure. I think I connect this side here. So let's see. Just disconnect this one here quickly. Okay, done. So I also reflowed all of these Hudson chips, and like I said, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all of these are for the audio. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So if you can, and this one of course, then please replace all of the electrolytic capacitors with the correct value, and most of the time the device will work straight away. You will not have any further issues with the PC Engine. Then what you can do is check the 5-volt rail. I think the potentiometer is this one, so you can change the voltage. And what else? Yeah, also check for cold solder joints on the brightness pot and the volume pot. If you cannot see a picture, or if you can't hear any sound, and that's, at least as far as my knowledge goes, the most common things to check. I also read something about transistors failing in this area, but didn't really come across this issue on my device. So I would say I will disconnect the speaker real quick so it's easier to work on. I will replace the socket because I ordered this one, and this one is a new one, and the old one is really oxidized. So let's start removing the solder. I would like to try my new device, so just let me get it real quick. So this is a desoldering iron that I bought many years ago, but it never really worked. And recently, maybe it's 2 weeks ago, I investigated the issue and found out that there is some, I'm really not sure what it was. It was some powder. It was really hard. It was blocking the airflow, and right now it should be sucking quite good. And I will test it out on this socket, and if it does not work, then I will just use my good old trusty Japanese, not really, I can't remember the name of this brand, but it was working quite well as well. So yeah, let's wait for this one to heat up and we can start removing the old screen. Looking good already, so that's it. And yeah, if you compare the size, I mean, also the size of course is a big factor why I want to upgrade. It will be so much easier to play all sorts of games that have text or anything that you have to read. This one will just go in my spare part cabinet for now. So let's see. Okay, the next thing we will have to do if we want to continue with our LCD mod is remove the front glass. This is glued on, I think, with double-sided tape or something similar on this side, and it can go off quite hard, so we have to heat it up a little bit. And after that we will have to cut out this plastic so we can fit the new one without blocking any of the screen. So yeah, feeling a little bit weird to Dremel or cut into this almost perfect PC Engine GT, but for the sake of upgrading I really plan to use it a lot, so it's just the best thing to do for me personally. But like I mentioned before, The screen will not be thrown away, it will be put to good use once I get another PC Engine GT for repair. So let's see if we can remove this one real quick. So before desoldering, it's always good to have some new solder or flux so that it will flow better. So this is what we will do now, just adding some to have new solder here. And this will be a premiere, so I never tried this one. Maybe it will not work, so then we will just go old school. But let's see if we can do anything with this. Try. Wow, okay, I think it's really working better than I expected, at least. So let's go for this one. I have to say, I'm surprised by how well this works. So as of now, I really can recommend this one. It's working really flawlessly. So let's see if we will be able to remove the socket without reworking or not. But at the moment, yeah, it looks like it's really working quite well. Okay, so this looks, at least to my eye, flawless. So now that the new socket's in, let's solder it down to the PCB. Okay, let's see if we still have ground. Nice. Okay, so next up will be to remove the front glass. So I think without any heat we will not have a chance to remove it. So we will apply a small amount of heat with my reflow station. I will try 200 degrees and go in this motion, never stay on one spot too long, and I will try to work on the back side because I'm afraid I will heat damage some of the plastic on this side. So let's see if this turns out okay. Let's get a feeling for the heat. Okay, so just go in circles. Okay, so that's that. We removed it without damaging it, so just in case we have to repair another device that has a broken screen, and broken glass, then we can use this one, because this one is in very good condition. So, what is our objective? So, as you see, this is the new glass and the cutout is a lot bigger than here. So our target will be to cut out everything that's in the way. Yeah, which is quite a lot. Okay. So let's see if I put in the screen, if this will work or not. Okay. I guess this could work. So there's one screw to mount it and it's fitting quite well. Okay. Let's don't forget to peel off the plastic cover. We have to do this twice. So let's figure this out. So we could either draw some lines here and cut out according to these lines, or yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. So what do we use? We could use a knife. So just in case you're wondering, I used a resin printer for this bracket here, and first I was afraid that maybe it will not fit, but it seems to be quite okay. You can also print this with any PLA or ABS filament, I guess, but since I had a resin printer on hand, I decided to try out to print this on a resin printer. So yeah, the lines are clearly visible. So now we have to decide how to proceed. Should we use a power tool or should we do it by hand? So I'm not really sure what's my weapon of choice here. So I'm afraid if I use a power tool it will get very hot, and then the hot parts of the plastic will be all around and maybe burn inside the case, so we will not do that. What we could try, let's try one thing that worked on another project. So let's go for medium hot for the first try and see how it goes. It wasn't hot enough. Let's try. So first I will just try to get the outlines, and then I will try to get through. Okay, I think it should be quite okay. Let's have a little light test. So I think it's good. So I think it's really looking quite well. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but if you shine a light on the other side, you can see if there's enough cutout. And on the sides we even took out a little bit too much, which is not a big problem, and on the bottom as well. But yeah, not too bad for now. So now we have to clean up around the edges a little bit. Let's see. Sadly, I don't have any masking tape left, so we will use just some sort of tape, just to be sure that we don't damage anything. Let's just see. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then on the bottom. Okay, there's a bit too much tension here. Okay, so let's continue with our job and the knife. IPA alcohol for this. I have it filled inside a plastic bottle. Okay, so let's give it a little soak here. just try to run it around the edges, just to get off the grease and everything. Let's hope this works out as expected. So there are two different covers here, so I will just peel off one if that is even possible. So let's see. Okay, just peel off the outside. Yeah, it should be possible. I'm not even sure if there's any double-sided tape underneath, to be honest with you, but we will find out. So let's get tweezers and then try to lift this edge up. Okay, there is double-sided tape, so looking good. We should put this here to the side. Okay, so we're doing great as of now. Moment of truth. Put it on the right way. And let's see. So we'll try to press it in like so. And then we should be able to pull, let's see, this one off afterwards. I hope so, at least. Yeah, there's only this little edge, but I think we can pull it off anyways. Yeah, so it's fitting really snug. I'm not afraid that it will fall out anytime soon. Light check again. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's looking good. Okay, so next step would be to mount the bracket, the screen, and peel off this one. So let's have a look at the PCB. So I got instructions from the seller, so this should be pretty straightforward, and let's see how it goes. So just peel off the protective cover. Okay, there's no dust as of now, so we will try to place it like this, somewhere safe, so that we don't collect any dust. So let's just put it here. Then we peel off this protective layer as good as possible. I think, yeah, it's going off quite well. Let's see. Okay. Then we will hold it like this so that there's no dust settling down, and we will push in the bracket. So let's do this. Okay, I think it's fitting quite well. So here we will have a screw, but on the top we will not have any screws, but I think this is supposed to be pressing against either the PCB or some part of the case and giving it stability. So at least I hope that's the use of this pillar here. So now we take our screen, check it for dust once again. Okay, no dust. And then put it in here. Okay, so let's see. First check. Looking good. I'm not really sure if there will be a problem due to the bracket not really being on 100%, but I guess it should be no issue. So we cannot see the bracket. I think it won't be causing any problems as of now. Next step would be to screw this down. So we have one screw left, I think, from before. Should be good. Then check again. Everything fine still. So the next thing to do is we have to modify our PCB and do the wiring. I have some wires here ready, even colored wires, so I plan to do the red, green, blue wires in the original color, so to have it nice and yeah, see where we go from here. So funny story how I really came to be a fan of the PC Engine, because some people don't know that this wasn't even a thing in Europe. So there was no PC Engine, no TurboGrafx 16, nothing of that sort. So when I found out about the PC Engine only recently, maybe 1 year ago, through the channel Bithead 1000, I was really surprised what I missed out on. So I instantly became a big fan of the channel, of his channel, and also of the PC Engine. So I really had to buy a PC Engine Duo R and mod it and get it in good shape, and then luckily I found a PC Engine GT, and I hope to play some shoot 'em ups on this pretty soon. So thanks Jesse for your great channel. Sip a coffee for Jesse. Okay, so let's look at the picture here. It says we have to remove Q507 and jumper as shown. So this shouldn't be a big problem. So Q507 is on the back side of the PCB, and yeah, so we just jumper it directly to the ceramic capacitor, and then we go from there. So let's move this out of the way, move this here. Q507 is this one, so we remove this one and then we jumper from here to there, and then we should be good for the next step. So let's try to heat up the pads with some new flux. And then try to push it out of the way, like so. Okay, so the transistor is off, away. Then we will have to find something to make a nice jumper wire for this. Let's use this one. I don't really like to use a lag without isolation. It would be quicker, but I don't really like to have this type of jumper. So we'd go like this, and then maybe make it a little bit shorter, like this. Okay, so we will use some solder to prepare the jumper wire for soldering. Okay, another time. Good. So So if you want to make a good solder joint, we will have to use flux, or otherwise it will not look good. So we use some flux here, put it here and here, because here we already have a big blob, it's not looking good, and we want to have it look as good as possible. So we use our pliers, get it in position, and solder the first part like so, then heat up the other part like so. Okay, it's looking quite good. So we go for the next step. Let's look for the next picture. Okay, it says negative yellow bottom left, positive orange top. Check your voltage. Okay, so this is going directly to the voltage regulator, it seems. And let's see the next one. Okay, this is the mini PCB C-Sync. Okay, this one's also on the other side of the board. So I think we're done with the back side of the board as of now. So we can put this back in place. Before we do that, we might want to clean the flux. There's still some IPA there, so this should be good. Okay, so we slowly flip it like so, get the cable out of the way, and put it down again. Good. So that's that. We can connect this one already. So it's out of the way. Okay. And maybe just one screw just to hold it in place so that it's not falling out while we solder the next wires. So is this centered? No, not really. So let's see why we're not centered yet. Okay, should be good now. Yeah. So we can put in the power button later on. Next step, like we saw in the picture, is to connect to Q502. So this wire should be the plus 5 volt, and the negative is going directly to the shielding of the backside of the board. So yeah, let's do that. So we will have to use some jumper wire once again. This will be our main power, so yeah, just use this one. I have this one left over. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the screen in action, because I think on YouTube videos you can't really judge the quality of the screen, and I was not really sure if I should even buy it, because in the YouTube videos it didn't look that good, to be quite honest. But yeah, I think it's very hard to use a phone camera or any sort of camera and film on a screen and have the quality come out as in real life. Okay, so the positive is the orange, so for positive I will use the purple wire. So for good measure we will use some new flux just to get it done here. So this is big thermal mass, so it might take some time to melt. And once done, we will connect this wire here. Okay. And then we use the ground here, as in the picture. This will be our ground. So this joint is not really looking good. So what we do, we use some flux. Do this again. Okay, much better. So now there's a really nice connection there. So this will be our power. Next up is C-Sync. So I'm not really sure, in the picture there's also some wires going to the board. Not sure if this is part of the mod or not, so let's just investigate further. This is the brightness modification. Okay, this is going R700, so this is there. Okay. And the picture from before did show the C-Sync right between Q200 and the resistor, which is here. Okay, so it is this pin here, which should be the C-Sync. So let's connect the C-Sync. Sip of coffee first. Good. So for C-Sync, I'm not sure what we will use, but we can already prepare the blue one for blue, the green one for green. Okay, it seems the brown one will be left over, so the brown one is C-Sync, and red for red. To be quite honest, I would like to have yellow for C-Sync. I think it's more fitting. Okay, so prepare the wire for soldering. Some flux if needed, but usually if you have good solder you don't really need a lot of flux. Okay, so we have to go inside the hole like so. And then, let's see, I think it's a little bit too big to go inside the hole. Let's try to trim it. Okay, it's not a big deal. You don't have to put it inside the hole. We will just solder it on top. So just get a little bit of a solder point here. Then connect the wire. So this wire is now of course too long, because we did plan to go inside the hole, but we don't. So we trim the wire down, and then we solder it to the C-Sync position right next to the resistor here. Okay. Then next up, I will connect the easy installation PCB that came with this kit. So let's see what is the correct direction. Not really sure if this is. It seems like the serial number is facing our way. Yeah. Okay, easy enough. So it is facing our way. Going in a little bit hard, so I'm not sure if I have to trim PCB or not. I'm not really happy. It's really hard to get it in, so I will try to get it back out and then trim it a little bit just to be sure. So I'm not sure what is wrong. It doesn't look like it's too big. Okay, let's try once again. A little more dedication this time. Okay, let's make a quick check if we have connection. I'm not really sure about the pin out, but let's just go by feeling. So let's see. Okay, it seems like it's connected. Then we connected the C-Sync, now we will connect ground, blue, red and green. I wonder why we have another ground. We already connected the ground for the power supply, but let's just do it like in the instructions. So for ground I will use brown in this case. Prepare the wire, maybe twist it a little bit. Okay. So I am running low on batteries, so I might need to chop up this video in a couple of parts. Let's see. So this one is too long again. Trim it down a little bit. Since we have to connect all of these, we will solder these at once so that it's done. So just like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the flux ready, flux it a little bit. This one is the ground. Okay, done. Then we will prepare red, green and blue. So let's check again. Green is on the right side. Blue is on the left side and red is in the middle. I'm not really aware what is the difference from the RGB LCD and the other LCDs available, if you have to solder more or less on the other kits, but I think this one will of course help a lot. But on the other hand, I think soldering just to these pins would also be, yeah, not that big of a deal, to be quite honest. But maybe if you need to remove it, then it's easier this way. But considering that we have the C-Sync fixed on the board as well as the power supply, yeah, not really sure if we really need the easy installation PCB, but it was included in the kit, so we will use it. Okay, so we start with blue, like said, on the left side. Okay, then red. Okay, and then green. I'm not really happy with this one, so let's try to remove this again. Get green on. So I'm really shaky today because I just finished a 4-hour bike session, so I'm not really in the best of my abilities to solder, but we will get this job done anyways. So no complaining, even if my arms hurt like hell. Okay, so the red one is in the middle like we said before. Okay, this is done. So next up is, let's check again, sync, brightness mod. This is, okay, I see. So like in the picture here, he disconnected the flex cable and connected this brightness modification. Let's see. So let's check the PCB again. We have our connections. So we have CS, C-Sync, we have ground, RGB, we have 5 volts, we have ground, and yeah, that should be it. So I think, also the brightness mod on the other side, okay. So just thinking how we do this. Should we let the flex cable on the board or not? Let me just think. I think, yeah, it should be doable without removing the flex cable. So let's see. So we have to check. This will be the top of the unit, which goes here. So the cable will run like this. And we could trim this cable a little bit, which we will do. Then we prepare the cable for soldering again. Twist the ends. So I'm also not really sure how much amps or milliamps this will draw, but I guess the wire should be okay. I think it's not really power hungry like the original screen. So yeah, like mentioned before, I'm coming from Europe, and in Austria we really never even heard of the PC Engine. So I only had like the usual, so I started with the NES, with the Game Boy DMG, then I got my hands on a Mega Drive, which was my favorite console back in the days because of Streets of Rage and many other titles. Then I got a Super Nintendo, and yeah, from there on the journey started. But really never even heard of the PC Engine, so that's really surprising that this little machine with a 8-bit processor and 16-bit graphics, I think, can really pull off this action like on, I think, Air Song. I think the music is just so amazing, and the speed and the variety, and the game is only, I'm not sure, 256 kilobytes. I think it's borderline black magic how they could program the game. Even I don't really understand it, but I'm glad they did. So yeah, looking really forward to play Air Song on the new screen, which will be the first title I will try. So what we have here, saturation, contrast, brightness. Okay, interesting. So I'm not sure about the jumpers, but it says 1 video 2 YC off RGB. Okay, so they are off and we have RGB, so we should be good. So let's have a quick look again on the mod for the brightness. So we have to solder CN and the connection from jumper 1. Okay, CN7 in this case, and this one. Good. So let's start with the positive 5 volts. Okay, next up, ground for the power supply. Then just thinking about how much I will trim the wires here, so it's flipping this way. So yeah, I trimmed them a little bit, just not to run out of space inside the case. Just maybe like so. And these wires usually you can also get away without trimming the isolation. Sometimes we will try that, because I don't really not the best way, because you will have some melted plastic on the isolation. So do this only if you are lazy, but just for the sake of trying it, we did this. Okay, so we have our red connected. Let's go for the next one. Next up, green. So we'll try to get them evenly trimmed. Twisting. Okay. Also, one thing I'm looking forward to is maybe fine-tuning the amp that I got here. One problem is that it's so loud and so strong that the speaker will distort. So I'm not sure if it was because the socket was corroded, or because this one is usually used to really drive full range small speakers and not like these tweeters or handheld console speakers. But if this doesn't work out, I have 2 other types of this PAM amplifier, which should probably have a little bit less output power, so I might try those if I'm not happy with the quality of the sound and the volume. So let's trim it. And one big thing for me is the battery, so I really hope that we can go below the 0.54 amps draw that we had before. This will be a good benchmark to see how much power we can save with a LCD mod, which would be really interesting. So from this on we could calculate our runtime, because I did make a lithium ion battery pack for on the go, but I did not install it in the case, because then I would have to cut something, and I just made it like an external battery. So some of you maybe can remember the Sega Game Gear battery was like this big and had a connector. So yeah, something like that, but only smaller and with a hook of the hue card, so it's portable and it's not in the way. And yeah, I will show you later. It's working quite nice. So this one is the ground for the C-Sync. So trim it the same way. And then I will think about how we will fix the PCB on the back side. I'm not sure if this is even a good idea, if this is isolated in any way. I'm not feeling confident that there's isolation on here. So we will have to put some kind of isolation layer here. We had at least, no, we have this one left. This is from the screen, so let's put this one here just for safety reasons, just to isolate the PCB. And yeah, this should be at least better than nothing, and then we can think about something better afterwards. So, C-Sync, ground. Okay. So what I will do, I think I will take a hot glue gun and at least give it a little glue on the sides, because I don't want the PCB to fly around inside the case. Oh no, this was CS, so this was the ground, sorry. This one is on the left side. And the sink was this one, actually. What I already did, if I'm not sure if you can see this, I did the jailbar fix mod, but I didn't really see any difference. But I also have to say I didn't really see any real jailbars in the first place, so it should be good enough. If not, there are many different instructions on the jailbar fix mod with different capacities listed, and there are also kits that you can buy. Mostly people buy a full recap kit, but since I had all of these caps at home anyways, I just used what I had and did not buy any kits to recap it. But if I would have bought a kit, then I probably would have gotten these ceramic capacitors for the jailbar fix mod. Okay, so what we have left now is the last step, at least the last step to my knowledge, which is the brightness mod. So like we saw earlier, it will be on this side, it will be 2 cables, and let's see, what color do we have left? Yeah, let's just use the black and white one. So we have to go from here to here, which is not really good, because when we flip it over it will be only a really short way over to this side. So yeah, but it doesn't really matter, so we keep it longer just for the sake of comfort. And if everything is working, I might trim the cable and solder it with case on the side. But as of now, let's just focus on getting this machine to run again. One thing that I also find fascinating about the PC Engine is the variety of shoot 'em ups that really run quite well on this machine. I'm not sure if it was just programmed this way, or I don't really know. It looks like magic to really imagine that we have an 8-bit CPU inside, and it can really pull off some titles better than the Mega Drive. And also the sound, I think, is on some games even better than the Mega Drive sound, which I really do love. So I love the Yamaha chips, and I love any sort of chip tunes, but the PC Engine also has some really nice music, and especially of course the PC Engine ZD, which is CD audio, has some titles like, I think Book of Ease is one of the favorite titles in terms of music. That's just a magical music. So let's check again. So we use the black one for the CM7 black, and the other one for the connection. So we don't have enough solder here. Try it again. I really hope I'm filming this right, because if not, I can't really redo the whole video, but I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so it is already short enough, so I will solder it like this, flipping over the case a little bit, and then I will continue to connect the controller board, and yeah, speaker, and then it would be a good time for the first power up of this console with the RGB LCD. What I want to do before I power it up though is just to have a tape sticking here, that it will not fall out. And one thing that is weird is that it's not really sitting well here, but we will fix that afterwards with some hot glue. We will press it down, put hot glue, let it cool down, and then it should be quite good. So let's get some tape. Okay, just to secure the board, nothing special, just like so. Okay, so we'll solder this to the PCB now. This is the brightness mod. I really think it's cool that you can reuse the brightness potentiometer without any further modification, so it's really cool, I guess, but I'm not sure if it will respond the same way like the original screen, but as long as you can reduce or increase the brightness a little bit, I will be very happy. Okay, the leads are a little bit too long. Trim. Okay, let's check again. So the black one is on the bottom, closer to R700, and the other one is 2 pins above that. So the black one, like we said, closer to R700, which is this here. So this will be a little bit tricky to get it in place, but we would need a third hand for this job, but let's see. Okay, I hope I can reach it. So, like so. And the other one, even with my tired arms, I'm able to do this, so everyone else should be able to do this as well. Good. So now we can connect the power. And we have to connect the speaker and the controller board. And then we will be able for the first test. Or we will be able to do the first test. So how did I connect this? The plus was red, minus was black. Be careful not to touch the case with the soldering iron. Oh no, so this is not looking so good. The tape didn't do what I wanted it to do. So let's just hope we didn't get any dust inside. So we will have to find a way to at least have it stay inside for as long as we're testing. Maybe a little bit more tape will do the trick. Well, let's just hope there was no dust coming inside. But as long as we did not tape it with hot glue, we are still good. But yeah, it's not really very convenient to have the screen popping out. So maybe just to get this done. Okay, so the red one, positive. Let's get it connected to the amplifier board again, like so. And this one. I'm pretty sure I will put another amplifier inside, because this one is really way too strong, even with resistors in front of the signal input. It's just too loud. So okay, so the controller board, this one is, yeah, I'm not really happy with that at the moment, but just for the sake of testing it should be good enough. So we connect the ribbon cable for the controller board, and then let's hope that this can power up again. So we will just do a quick check of all the connections again, just for the sake of it. So the CN7 is the brightness mod going to the pin closer to R700. 2 pins above is the white one. This seems correct. 5 volts going to the regulator or transistor. Ground going to the shield. R going to red. G, B is correct. C-Sync going to the pin next to R202, and ground. So I think we should be good for the first test. So I'm really excited. I hope the thing doesn't blow up, to be quite honest with you, but it shouldn't be a problem. I guess we did everything like mentioned in the instructions. So one thing I see here is that the bracket doesn't really like my capacitor here. So, well, for testing we will not assemble the case yet. What we will do is put back the soldering iron and use the LED power supply to produce 8 volts for the first test. And I did set this to 0.8 amps, so in case we get a short, I will set this to 0.6 amps, then it will cut off, just so that we don't damage anything. So this is the wrong button. So set it to 0.6, should be safe. Set 0.6, 8 volts. Okay, so this one is the negative terminal, which is this one. This one is the positive terminal. A little bit hard to get in there because it's a little bit too big for the spring, but we did it. And then we have to get the power button. So I will not put on the shield yet, but I will put it on once everything seems to be working. This one should slide on. Okay, so I will not use, well, I will use the LED power supply once more to check for the power draw. What I noticed is that it almost went up to 0.6 the last time, which is quite high. It's even higher than the standard LCD, so I'm really surprised that this screen may even consume just as much current as the old one. So yeah, it's really, yeah, I'm surprised. Let's put it like that. So 8 volts, 0.8 amps cut off. So we connect the negative here, positive, right there. Okay, so this is how it looks at the moment. Looks really nice, everything in place, no dust in between the glass and the screen, so really good. Let's turn it on. This was not really 100%. What's wrong here? Okay, now. So, give it some juice. Wow, okay. That's really sharp. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's insane. That's insane. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Wow, I'm so glad I did this mod. One thing that is strange, I cannot make out the white from the selection, so let's see the brightness. Okay, it does a little bit, but even on the lowest setting it is too bright, so that's what we will have to change. We will do this now. Okay, let's see. It is on the other side, so I will turn the brightness down until I can see the difference between the non-selected games and the selected game. Okay, brightness. Turn it down a notch. It's better, still too bright. Down another notch. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, that's good. And now we try the brightness here. So we still have the full range and we can turn it down like so. Maybe I will make it even less bright so that the brightness potentiometer can really cycle down. Okay, next one would be the contrast. So now it's quite high. Let's see if there's a difference if we turn it down. Okay, so it does what the contrast does. It makes the dark things darker and the light things lighter. So I guess this should be tuned inside a game. So let's do this. Loading. Yeah, so turn down the volume a bit. So at the moment we are drawing 0.592 amps, which is actually more than with the stock screen. A little bit more, not much, but a little bit more. Wow, okay, looking like we have a little bit too much color, but let's turn up the volume. I love this tune. Okay, the power supply did cut off because the amp was drawing more than 0.8 amps. So yeah, let's tune the colors and the contrast with AirSong. So let's see, let's reduce the saturation. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more and reduce the contrast. A little bit more color. Not too bad. Let's see the screen of the menu. Maybe let's just jump into a game. Okay. Wow, I'm so happy about the quality. So I think it's still too saturated. So I would go for a little bit less color. Check again. Yeah, maybe a little bit more brightness now. Okay. Does the brightness influence the draw? No, not really. Okay. It still looks too, how do I put it? Too colorful, but maybe I'm just not used to the screen. So let's reduce the contrast more. Okay, this screen does not really help. Come on. Okay, now I think the contrast is too low. Okay, way too low. So turn it up a notch and then have a look. Okay. I think this would be the sweet spot, and then we do the same for the color again. Let's check the color. Oh, it's really hard to. Oh, we can do black and white mode. You see this? It's also nice. Okay, turn it up a little bit more. I mean, it's. Come on, not the game over screen again. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this setting here now. So the yellow text looks yellow, not orange like before. And yeah, it just looks like on the real console on a big screen. So let's try to get some close-ups. But I'm afraid the camera cannot really catch. Look. But let's see. Yeah. So what I can say is I don't have any jail bars or anything. No noise. Everything is sharp as F, and only one thing is that I can see, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, on the very top I can see a blue line, which as far as I know is also there on the PC Engine if you use a modern screen, but it's not really a big problem for me. The only surprising thing I have to say is that the power draw is the same, or even more than with the stock screen. But of course this screen is a lot bigger, a lot brighter and a lot sharper. So this means that maybe back in the days even they did use a very good screen, even considering back in the days that the Game Gear had this kind of, I don't know, looks like a small CRT screen. The Nomad also had a similar screen, and this one really seems like it was quite good for the time. So we'll keep this one in my spare part cabinet, and hopefully I can get a PC Engine or a TurboGrafx Express with a broken screen. Would be really nice. So where did I put the screen glass? Oh, there it is. Of course I did put it there. No! Oh, come on. God damn. Okay. This is just like with butter on a bread. It's always falling on the butter side. But anyhow. So we will protect this one and put it like this, if it can even fit inside. It can. Okay, this one is protected now. This one then is a kind of a set screen replacement, and I will keep the transistor that we removed just in case. And so yeah, I can recommend the bracket for the LCD. You can find it on Thingiverse. I will probably link the bracket down below, and I will also link Bithead 1000's channel. It's one of the best channels, so funny, for everything video game related, life related. It's just a good time. So I'm a Patreon of his, and I can recommend you to give him a couple of bucks, because he really deserves it. He does this, or he did this for many years, and it's just so much fun to watch his show. And he introduced me to the PC Engine, and now this is my favorite system of all time. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please write down in the comments and I will get back to you. And if you have any troubles with the installation, you just can hit me up and maybe we can troubleshoot it together. But yeah, so the kit from Retromancer is really recommended. It's quite easy to install and it looks great, so I'm really happy with the result of this mod. Yeah, really happy. So we'll just try another game. Oh, I should really assemble it properly before trying this. Okay. What else? What else has good graphics? Or text, or let's try, yeah, let's try Salamander S. Salamander. Konami. Okay, the text very clear. Looks good. Okay, let's check the brightness again. Okay, so we can really go up to very comfortable levels for a dark shooter like this. And yeah, looks great. Looks really great. Very sharp, no shadows, no nothing, no noise. So thumbs up, leave a like if you liked it, and if you disliked it, leave a dislike. And if you want, you can subscribe, and probably I will put out more modding videos if you like this format. And I'm also doing music if you want to check that out as well. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend and see you next time.